We talk about protecting our ecosystems for the future, the land base for the future, and we cannot do that without having an active presence out on the water.
This is the north and central coast in Haida Gwaii. These coastal mountains, lush valleys, and interlocking waterways form the largest and most intact temperate rainforest on Earth. For at least 14,000 years, First Nations people have cared for the region's ecosystems and abundant wildlife. Protecting and stewarding the land and sea is a lifelong responsibility passed on from generation to generation.
It's so important to hear past experiences in areas and family stories and histories that come from these special areas.
Good strong engineers that be able to run a test hole here, and they'd find out the grain. This is one of the most amazing places in the world for us, because we know that our ancestors stood on this ground. We knew what they were about, we knew what they were doing.
For more than a century, First Nations governance of their own territories has been disrupted or outlawed by colonial governments. And the traditional ecological knowledge that has allowed nations to flourish over thousands of years has been undermined and overlooked. As a result, illegal hunting, fishing, and forestry was rampant, and the mismanagement and unsustainable harvesting of fishery resources have left little return for the Indigenous communities that rely on those resources. But all this is changing. First Nations throughout the north and central coast and Haida Gwaii have been taking back their governance role as stewards and managers of their territories.
This has always been our place. Why would we go to someone else and ask them for authority in our own territory? We already have it. We never let it go. We never gave that up. So there's no need to prove it to anyone, we just need to live it.
Stewardship leaders from these communities sat down to work together to form a collective presence on the coast.
Enough was enough, and they decided to sit together and say, how can we, in a united effort, address these issues?
To protect and restore their culture and the natural world, nations of the North Pacific coast created a united declaration. Together, they committed to making decisions that would ensure the well-being of their lands and waters, to preserving and renewing their territories and cultures through their knowledge, tradition, and authority, and to be honest with each other and respectful of all life. The Coastal Stewardship Network, a program of coastal First Nations, supports the stewardship offices of each of these nations, encouraging a coordinated approach to stewardship across the broader coastal region. This includes advancing the work of the Coastal Guardian Watchmen, the frontline stewards who monitor, protect, and restore these lands and waters. In 2009, the Coastal Stewardship Network developed a regional monitoring system, a standardized approach for tracking resource use and ecosystem health throughout the coastal region.
It's been a little bit frustrating historically when we've heard government agencies talk about needing more science to support our claims of habitat destruction, to support our claims of need for conservation measures and some more sustainable, responsible natural resource management. The more modern way of collecting the data and using the RMS system is it also follows our own traditional way of collecting that knowledge and collecting that information as well. So it's not just a bunch of researchers coming into the community and collecting a bunch of data and then taking it out. It's building capacity within the nation with our own people and collecting the data in a way that also respects the traditional and ecological knowledge. And if anything, it supports the traditional and ecological knowledge.
The CSN develops and facilitates training programs for Coastal Guardian Watchmen and other stewardship staff. The CSN also encourages networking and collaboration opportunities throughout the coastal territories by bringing people together through annual conferences and learning exchanges to share knowledge and coordinate stewardship efforts. Whether it's through monitoring and enforcement, training, or collaboration, First Nations throughout the North Pacific Coast have the authority and responsibility under traditional and contemporary Indigenous laws to protect these lands and waters. To learn more, visit our website, sign up for our newsletter, and keep in touch with us on social media.